very good. Okay, very good.
Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Hard Factor, presented by the Barstool News Network. It is episode 582, Monday, December 14th, 2020. Boys, we're all here, all four of us. Everybody have a good weekend? We're all feeling good, ready to go on this Monday morning?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A little too much good.
Yeah.
Too good. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're playing along on Twitter, I enjoyed a lot of freedom funnels because LSU took care of Florida Saturday night. That was fun. I see Pat's in the Washington football team jersey. That was also
you
fun.
won the NFC Beast, bro.
Mm-hmm. Looking very good. Mark, I saw you did some nunchucks with a newspaper.
Yeah, that's how I get the news. I just use it as like a weapon, and then it goes straight to my head. I ingest the news. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. And then Wes, what did you do this weekend, pal?
I went out to the driving range with the youngin for the first time in a long time, and that was tough. But it was a nice it was a crisp fall day, so but it was nice to get out there again. But
you weren't connecting.
No, I was terrible. I can barely get my body around the ball. I'm getting it's just cracking bones everywhere when I move. It's terrible. Hilarious. But it was good to get out there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I need to get out there because you guys think that I can hit it 200 on a bounce, which I don't believe. So I still owe you how many balls it takes to get me there. So we'll find that out eventually. But nice. I'm glad you're back out ripping it, Wes. All right, we got everybody be on the lookout for stimulus package details. We're not going to talk about it on today's show, but that should be coming out today sometime. Surely they'll be massively disappointing for everybody if it's any trend follows what's been happening so far this year.
$900 billion one, so it's not even over $1 trillion. So I think it's going to be disappointing. Yeah.
Probably doesn't have checks. Probably just bails out companies, stuff like that. Yeah. So that'll be fun. Be on the lookout for that. But we got a whole shitload of other good stories. What's up?
Real quick, Mark, do you want to make sure your mic's hooked up because we're getting your laptop mic on the StreamYard?
Oh, my mic's hooked up on Audition. Let me just change it over here. I already ran a test for that.
Mark's upgrading his microphone for the youtube.com/Hard Factor News experience as we speak.
There you go.
There it is.
There you go.
And there it is.
There you go.
Wes, get
call.
us going.
All right, guys. Big weekend in Washington, D.C. and other states as the Stop the Steal rally / protest took place in D.C., as I said, and they were protesting the election results, the Supreme Court's rejection of Ken Paxton's lawsuit to overturn the election results, and today's Electoral College vote to make the results official. You can, if you really are bored, you can live stream the Electoral College the votes.
Oh wow!
Just Google that. Yeah, that'll be something.
Electric, riveting. Yeah.
Right. Yep. Yeah. If you got absolutely nothing else to do, you can do that. And guess who the big players were at the rally, guys?
At
People
the
in
Stop
MAGA
the Steal
hats.
rally?
Yeah.
Stop the Steal. Yeah. Well,
Guys whose hobbies are lifting, growing beards, firing guns, repressing their women.
No masks. I think that was the star. Of the rally,
Yeah,
probably.
no mask. Pat, you got it right. The Proud Boys were there representing the right, who demonstrated lightheartedly with a fuck Antifa on their asses, much like you would paint something on your chest for a football game. Bubba, I don't know if you have that picture for us. There you go.
Oh, that's like the Braveheart. They're wearing like kilts.
There we go.
Mhm.
And yeah.
Yes.
That's
yes.
a sentiment everybody can get behind, but I'm sure that there's the Antifa. Did Antifa then line up their own like fuck Proud Boys ass picture? And then
I mean,
release it?
they just both sides were yelling. Both sides also did not lightheartedly protest with their fists in some cases. Of course, Black Lives Matter did protest on the left. Will also the ideology known as Antifa was there, represented by a large group of humans. And unfortunately, when the two groups and the one ideology came together, it got ugly. So far, at the time of this recording, 33 arrests were made. 4 people were stabbed. In total, 8 members of the D.C. Metro Police sustained injuries.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing going out there stabbing people? What are you doing?
Well, Antifa was there to defend the sanctity of the Supreme Court decision. Mm-hmm. So that's what they're doing.
Right.
Who's stabbing people? What's going on?
Well, Philip Johnson is the guy who they arrested for stabbing people. He's a Washington native, 29 years old. So he's the guy that they got for stabbing. So from CNN, all in all, 6 people were arrested for assault on police officers. 10 were arrested for simple assault, 4 for riotous acts, 2 for crossing a police line, and 1 for possession of a prohibited weapon. This was going down in capital cities all over the country. Olympia, Washington, a riot was declared and 1 person was shot. You can find
you're all choked up about it.
I took a sip of my drink. And it didn't go down.
Yeah.
You can find a lot of the skirmishes online, fights. Bubba, I don't know if you have that video of them yelling at each other. Here's one of them.
Proud Boy Plaza! Proud Boy Plaza! Proud Boy Plaza! You want to defund MPD? Then let's go meet somewhere and not tell them. Come on!
Sweet. What a group of idiots.
That guy was wearing a bike hat.
What a group
helmet.
of just
Like helmet, yeah.
complete and total
Let's go
social
meet
reject
somewhere and not
losers.
tell them.
Yeah.
Oh
in
my
case,
God.
That was
in case you
fun.
couldn't make it out, they were chanting Proud Boys Plaza, a little troll on the Black Lives Matter Plaza. So they thought that was
Just losers.
very clever. But it wasn't, you know.
The droves of people who are lined up to scream at each other every weekend.
Yeah, that's
giant losers.
Apparently, the epicenter was outside of like some Hilton on like 11th Street or something. So they just ruined this hotel's business for a night.
Yeah, you don't want them out there chanting. That's
no.
not great for business.
No. Let's go
Yeah.
somewhere else, honey.
I'm gonna fuck that. I'm gonna sleep in my Charger. I'm not gonna get the Hilton hotel. I'm gonna sleep in my Charger.
Yeah.
A lot of them drove Chargers up there. Challengers too.
Those are good cars, though.
Yeah, great cars. Fantastic
Great
cars.
American muscle.
Yeah. It wasn't all, fighting during the day. There was some music to lighten the mood, including a song from pro-Trump rapper Bryson Gray, and it was just incredible. Bubba, do you have that song for us to enjoy?
Gun-toting, Bible reading, God believing, truth speaking American. It's MAGA season. Democrats committing treason. I know they think it's sweet, but you don't know who you dealing with. It's for free thinkers only. You ain't got no membership. They free General Flynn out the cage cause he innocent. Brian Rogers Stone cause the world know that he innocent. We need to kick out every single illegal immigrant. Mandatory voter ID laws we need to implement. Tell.
Wow. Yeah. Fire.
Yeah, terrible.
A lot of
You know what that
energy.
is? Hey, we're not making normal music.
MAGA season.
What's
That was
our
a jam.
angle?
That was a bit of a jam.
That was
MAGA season.
absolutely
Pat, you didn't like that song?
No, I didn't like it.
You didn't like the hook on MAGA season? I thought
Yeah,
it was
didn't love
catchy.
it.
You didn't like the hook, the beat?
Oh my God, it's like the same thing as like fucking
MAGA
Christian
Christmas
rappers.
album.
That's their
Same
new
thing
album.
with
From
Christian
Bryson Gray.
That's their new album, Back at Christmas.
Fucking
You gotta
idiots.
check. You gotta check that out. I asked Bubba to pick the lyrics which spoke to him the most, so those are the ones he chose. So
Bubba loved that. Bubba loved that. The voter ID line in there.
that
that's
was
what
it.
got him.
And
for
the
sure.
Roger Stone pardon, I
Roger
think. Yeah.
Stone.
Yeah.
They know he's innocent.
So yeah, be sure to check out that album with titles like Trump Won, MAGA Christmas Remix, Ain't Over Yet, Serve Christ, MAGA Forever, Christmas Not Xmas, and Wish List and Light Child in stores on the iTunes store now. You can check that out.
Light Child sounds like it's a jam. So the SCOTUS dismissed the Trump case in less than 1 page. That's pretty decisive. I don't really care what happens in all this. I just hope Trump pardons Ed Snowden because that guy deserves a pardon, in my opinion. Yeah, IMO.
We'll see.
All right,
Bryson
yeah.
Gray's grandmother was a Black Panther. Okay, cool. Just pointing that out.
Tough start for Pat. Pat is angry.
Not a fan of that guy.
Yeah. All right.
All right, well, let's kick it over to the COVID corner. Pat, something else we could talk about, change the focus a little bit. It's 2020, so we're back in the COVID corner again, just like every single day of the entire year turned out because China hadn't told us about it, and it happened way before the start of the year. But, at least this one starts off with great news. The first Pfizer vaccines have shipped, fellas, from the Michigan factory over the weekend. CDC Director Robert Redfield, a guy who once babysat me at a pool, and the FDA, they both approved the vaccine for emergency use.
It's such a sick brag.
That's an awesome stat. Yeah.
They both approved the vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine specifically, for emergency use to help end the pandemic for all Americans aged 16 and up. So that means that the vaccine shipped from Michigan, all 50 states, doctors, nurses, and other essential government employees, so like high-ranking government officials, will start getting vaccinated now, today, Monday.
That's great.
First day.
That's great news. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so like I mean, it's really good. Like your top doctor at your local hospital is probably vaccinated now. The top people in the government getting vaccinated. Then it's going to be old people.
Are you guys worried at all about the vaccine? You see that thing I sent you with like the Bell's palsy or whatever and stuff like that?
Yeah,
it was like it was like 4 people.
I don't want Bell's palsy.
No, I know, but
that is reversible usually, and that happens to a lot of people. Like my dad, my dad's had it before.
Yeah,
and it went away. So
yeah, I know.
How long is this thing lasting?
Well, they don't know yet, I guess. I asked that question too. I read somewhere that you only have to take it like once. Maybe older people have to take it once every 3 years. Maybe younger people once every 5. But I think they don't know yet. I don't think they've said.
I guess they'll find out when people start getting sick after being vaccinated. Right. I know that it's 2 shots. You have to take one month apart. 28
days, or something like that. Yeah. And the second one's the one that's supposed to get you like pretty sick, like for a couple days, like you're not going to feel good after the second.
Yeah, the Bell's palsy worries me, but then what doesn't worry me? Being able to just go out and be living your life.
I'm definitely taking it. I mean, yeah. I need it. I need to get out of my house. I need to go on vacations. I've canceled 3. Like, put the needle in my fucking eyeball. I don't care.
That's a good point, Mark. But even with the vaccine on its way, it's not peachy everywhere. Speaking of travel, in Disney World, they're planning to Photoshop masks onto the unruly patrons who refuse to wear them inside the park, because who the fuck knows why Disney World's doing that? That's just Disney World being real big weirdos.
Who's the news source on that? What is that?
CNN or Fox? Yeah, it was like a major
Did
source.
Did they give a context for why, or like what?
Nope, just like hey, we're Disney and we're freaks, so we're gonna Photoshop masks onto your face.
So instead
to make it look safer.
So instead of kicking people out, they're gonna just let
fake
them
it.
Just
pretend.
fake it.
Yeah,
what?
Pretend. Yeah. And then in another head-scratching situation,
gotta be more to that.
involving
Yeah, there's more to that story, Will.
No, there's not. I'm telling you.
That's
They're
it.
just weirdos.
That's it. They're just gonna Photoshop it. That's it. Yep.
In another head-scratching situation with a big American company, we have this video from self-described patriot/bodybuilder Eliz Orban, I forget. I may have mistyped that. And her interaction with United Airlines. Bubba, if you can play the clip.
We just got kicked off the flight because our 2-year-old would not put on a mask, and we tried. I mean, I'm gonna put a video on. And they're sending all of our bags and Adeline's car seat to New York. And we're banned off of United forever because a 2-year-old would not put on a mask.
Yeah, so basically what happened there, that was her announcing after she had been kicked off the flight what happened. Then she played a clip of her husband trying to put a mask on their 2-year-old daughter. She wasn't wearing it.
So she got kicked off a flight. By the looks of that video, it seems like someone in her family was murdered. It's just a little dramatic.
She's
pretty roided up.
She was upset. Yeah. She was upset. She is a bodybuilder. She is jacked. So her T was probably high.
Right.
The tensions were high.
That up angle camera of her crying was honestly the best she's looked, because I went through her IG, and that was a really flattering angle for her. She looked really pretty there.
She's a very attractive woman. She's jacked in some of her Instagram photos, like big, strong woman,
like Zap from American Gladiators.
Upset because her 2-year-old daughter got her family kicked off of a flight. And United, in the video, she goes, "We're being banned for life." Well, United has since said, "You're not banned for life," but the gate crew did tell her she was banned for life. And then the internet,
they fucked up.
Yeah, the gate crew was horrible. So
and then the internet fucked up.
The internet reaction, we've got Clay Travis. He's on this, so Clay Travis is on the side of the woman, and Chrissy Teigen is on the side of obeying airline rules. And of course, those people represent basically political parties. I mean, if you follow them, where do we stand on this?
I think that this is one of those stories where everyone's wrong. I think that I read her Instagram too, and she said there was like a photo of the same day of some other famous health lady on Instagram that her 2-year-old daughter in first class didn't have a mask on and she didn't get kicked off. I think like on a case-to-case basis, they probably fucked up the staff on the plane and the gate, but also this lady looks like a jackass. Like I think that everyone involved kind of sucks in this story.
I don't know. I know that like like daycares and stuff, they don't require the kids to wear masks just because it's fucking impossible to get a 2-year-old to wear a mask. I would have been probably more pissed off than this woman if I would have gotten kicked off.
Should have Disney World faked it.
This is an instance.
Let him go on the flight.
Top-down bullshit. The scenario is the guy kicking the 2-year-old, the family with the 2-year-old off, doesn't want to be doing it, but he has to do it because that's the fucking policy enacted by the company. There needs to be a gray area. Like I was at the airport recently, and this family. Kids just kept coming out of the woodwork. It turned out to be like 9 kids by the end when they all were gathered next to me. None of these fuckers wearing masks. So I'm like, what am I going to do? These are fucking kids. I wish the parent would fucking strap some masks on these kids, but they're not going to. It's not the end of the world though. It sucks. The 2-year-old wasn't going to have it. And look,
right.
Really, it comes down on the 2-year-old. This little fucker needs to have some respect.
Stop.
No,
not the 2-year-old.
Look, the 2-year-old, she was unruly. I agree.
She was unruly.
She was very unruly.
This woman can sell supplements online, and she can trick weights into being lifted easily, but she can't trick her 2-year-old into putting a mask on. This lady's pathetic.
She's gonna take her opportunities to point out how upset she is by having her 2-year-old kicked off a plane. But I personally blame the CDC because the United States is the only country in the world that thinks it's a good idea for masks to be worn by 2-year-olds. Across the rest of the entire globe, everybody's like youngest age is about 6. In Britain, they don't even make you wear them till 10. So United Airlines and other U.S. airline companies like Southwest have based their incredibly dumbass rules to have kids as young as 2 wear masks based on CDC guidelines, which are for some reason way too strict and dumb as fuck because they say that 2-year-olds should wear masks. So the CDC, thanks for the vaccines, but also thanks for totally fucking up everybody's weekend with this stupid situation because you caused this situation. It's not her fault. It's not the airline's fault. It's not anybody's fault in it. It's not your fault for saying 2-year-olds should wear masks.
They shouldn't have kicked the kid off the family off the plane. They shouldn't have done it. But
it's that flight attendant's fault, man. I know for a fact on
not his fault, bro.
It is his fault. He's just
the company wrote the policy based on the CDC guidelines. It's the same
but it's just like a cop who can say, "I'll give you a warning or give you a ticket."
Exactly.
Yes, and the company and you're right, Wes. United did clarify that. Basically, they threw the great crew under the bus. They were like, look, they have the discretion to not act like assholes.
Well, they didn't have to rub Tabasco sauce in her eyes on the way out saying she's banned for life.
Call her Mama Monster.
This irrationally emotional woman. I'm sure she is. I'm sure she's made a few crying videos.
But
before.
To me, it's the CDC who put this stupid situation in the first place that now has the lady crying on camera and then people who fly private jets telling us how the fuck we should act in this situation.
It's a mess.
My favorite part is she had on her video, and we're a silver medallion member. It's like, you're a silver. Maybe if you were a gold member.
Yeah, right.
Should have been at the bottom tier of the membership club.
One above me who just bought the ticket.
That's right. Run that back, and then you'll realize why they kicked you off.
Yeah.
You're not exactly a
fucking idiot.
Not a hard flex, the silver level, yeah.
All right. Well, that was a fun one. Hang on. I'm all out of sorts.
On top of his shit?
On top of my shit today. For sure. We just
you guys remember how Putin poisoned his critic Alexei Navalny several months ago?
Several months ago.
Here we go. I got it. Stop. Hang on. What the fuck? My shit's
you sound like you got it. Is it under control?
Why is this not under control? Right. Hey, do you guys remember how Putin poisoned his critic Alexei Navalny several months ago?
Yes.
Yeah. The guy who he poisoned one time before, even before that last time. I guess there's some new information as to what happened and how he survived, though. It turns out that the 44-year-old was actually poisoned a third time, and second time within a few days, late in August, when agents of the Kremlin allegedly rushed to the hospital in the Russian city Omsk to finish the job while he was in a coma, and they poisoned him again at the hospital while he was in a coma.
Well, no wonder it lasted so long.
Yes, that's what they're saying. Remember that the first hospital before he was transported to Berlin where the doctors were like, there isn't any poison. No, he should be fine. I don't know what. They also just let people in to poison him in that.
He's a tough fucking guy.
Yes, and they said that they basically, with the amount of poison they gave him, figured that he would die on transport to Berlin, and that would take care of that. But no, he survived, and I'm assuming that even in Russia, that's got to be some sort of malpractice to like let the poisoners in to poison you while you're under their care.
What it is now you're in trouble because the job didn't get done. So now you fucked up by being part of it, unfortunately.
Like the Epstein guards.
Do you know how here's exactly like the Epstein guards. Here's how he survived. So I guess everyone was in on it except for the ambulance drivers. So they gave him an antidote in the ambulance on the way to this hospital that he was about to get poisoned again at, and Putin didn't get to the ambulance drivers. He didn't tell them the plan, apparently. So that first antidote that he had was strong enough to also combat the second poisoning he got while he was in the hospital. But because he got the second poisoning, it put him in a coma for almost a month. He was in a coma for a while in Germany. They also now think the first poisoning in August that caused the coma was administered by people breaking into his hotel room and putting the poison Novichok on the waistband of his boxers. So they really
that's a sick place to put a poison.
Yeah. On your
fucking sick.
On your underwear.
Because when it starts irritating, you're not going to tell the doc because you're like, oh man, this is probably an STD.
Yeah, it's a crotch issue.
I'm going to wait to see if this goes away. Step one of when you get an STD, wait to see if it goes away.
That's right.
100% insult to injury. They were like, put it on his junk. Just definitely that'll be the funniest way to poison him. So also the theory that they think is because the Kremlin's refusing to hand over the clothes that he was wearing for testing, even though they've been asking for it. And the reason they're refusing to handing over for testing is because they destroyed the clothing the second they could. They burned that clothing to the ground since it had the poison on it. Apparently, Novichok is, quote, not something you can cook up in a kitchen or administer without training. It can only come from a state. And actually, we have a video of Alexei Navalny in that first hospital. If you can play it, Bubba, I think it's going to be the first video I saw. Tough going for Alexei.
Where'd you get that clip?
I don't know. Tough going for Alexei. That was straight from Russia. Oh, that was obviously a joke. That was Stone Cold Steve Austin pretending to be a doctor and tricking Vince McMahon. And we do actually have the clip, though, if you could play it, Bubba. This is the real one.
Let go of that fellow.
No, that was Nordberg. That was Nordberg from The Naked Gun. But there's no clip. I just wanted to play a couple of gag movie scenes of people getting fucked up in the hospital. So there you go. If I was that guy, I would probably steer. Yeah, it fits perfectly. If I was that guy, I'd probably want to steer clear of Russia, though, like living in Russia. And after like all this news came out that they just were breaking into his hotel room and poisoning him while he was dying.
Yeah, he's got to be pretty happy to be in Germany now.
Let's stay out of Russia for him. Also, real quick before we move into the to another story. In other alleged Russian crime news, the FBI is investigating a data breach hack of the U.S. Treasury Department and Commerce Department's National Telecommunications and Information Administration, and everyone's pretty sure Russia is behind the breach, and it's not reported yet what data they got, but it does not sound good.
They're saying Russia's still spying on us? No way.
Yeah.
According, gosh.
Yeah.
Crazy. You would have thought that they would have just given it up. You would have thought everybody would have just
Especially after that press conference Trump gave.
Right?
Yeah.
Putin.
Well, I don't know why they want our secrets still. According to people familiar with the matter, the hack of the NTIA was performed via Microsoft's Office 365 and emails of the staff. Basically, they said this has been going on since the summertime and indicated it's done by a very skilled group. And two report sources say that the breaches are connected to another recently revealed hack of cybersecurity company FireEye, which is widely believed to be done by the skilled group of Russian hackers known as APT-29. So APT-29 in Russia are just bebopping and scotting and hacking the shit out of every U.S. government agency since this summer. They said it's going to be bad when we find out how severe it's been. The shoe is about to drop. The other shoe is about to drop on this one, so stay tuned. We've been hacked.
Great.
Yeah.
The state of California is completely full of Chinese spies in the government, and Russia's just all up in the federal databases.
Every agency. They got all of our data. Yeah.
Sweet. All right, guys. Well, Airbnb had a huge IPO offering last week as their stock began trading at $139 per share. And that's pretty huge because the projection was for the stock to be trading at $68 per share.
Whoa.
Now the company is worth a staggering $100 billion, with its founder, Brian Chesky, now worth 11 Christina billions. I mean, it's a lot of cash, a lot of cash.
That's huge.
Mm-hmm. And a ton of Airbnb hosts, guys, are kicking themselves after ignoring an email from Airbnb with the subject line, Airbnb's directed share program. Maybe they should have opened it, idiots, because the email was an invitation for hosts to buy stock before the IPO. So a lot of people have Googled this, I'm sure. If you look up IPO and you play around in the stock market, you're like, how do I get in before? And truth is, you can't. Even if you buy the day of, right? By the time the stock hits the trading floor, unless you're an insider, you're not going to be able to get it before it hits that 139 mark. But if you were an Airbnb host, you could have bought it at $68. Now the max was 275 shares, meaning if you had the cash, you would have made a cool $19,525
One day. Nice.
in one day. And a number
Wait a
of
minute.
That math doesn't add up.
That doesn't add up at all, Pat.
oh, it doesn't add up. So multiply $68 per share times 275. This will be exciting radio.
Mhm.
Okay, now multiply 139 times 275.
I'm not doing any of this.
Okay, now
You get the
subtract
difference.
that
That sounds like
number. Yep.
$19,000 to me.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So thanks for the fact check. A number
Oh
of
no,
hosts-
you're such a gem today, Pat. It's just such a pleasure dealing with you.
I made a short radio. I mean, it's a short segment that is big. Okay. Anyway, you could have made 19,525. That math doesn't add up. A number of hosts are claiming the email ended up in their spam folders. Fucking idiots.
Well, yeah. Well,
Pat.
I mean, I hate emails. How many emails a day do you guys get? Like marketing emails?
In the hundreds, probably.
Right? It's
Yeah.
just I could see how people would miss this. That sucks though for them because you'd rather have the 19 grand.
They'd be as grumpy as Pat.
You would have need a lot of cash because you would have had to have like 18 grand in the first place to buy the stock.
Right.
Yeah.
But you would.
That's true.
You would have made
That's
some
true.
good money. Yeah.
But you could have doubled your money still.
Yeah. Double your
Cash.
money.
You could have
boys.
doubled your 2 grand.
Dirty little cash boys. And if it goes up further, who knew? But fucking idiots.
Okay. All right, guys. The Zodiac killer, or simply Zodiac, or the Zodiac, is a pseudonym of an American serial killer who operated in Northern California from at least the late 1960s and early 70s. His identity remains unknown. The killer originated the name in a series of taunting letters and cards sent to the San Francisco Bay Area press. Those letters included 4 cryptograms or ciphers. This is all from Wikipedia, by the way. The Zodiac murdered 5 known victims in Benicia, Vallejo, Napo County, and San Francisco, respectively, between December 1968 and October of 69. He targeted young couples, with 2 of the men surviving attempted murder. He also murdered a cab driver. The Zodiac himself wants to have claimed to have killed 37 victims.
Yeah, he hated people like at Makeout Point. He wasn't a big fan of teens at Makeout Point. That guy.
No, he hated people that were getting it, and he wasn't. This is actually a pretty crazy story. So one of these, the September of '69, students from Pacific Union College, Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard, were picnicking at a lake in a small island connected to like a sand spit at this place called Twin Oak Ridge, makeout spot. And then so the Zodiac killer, who they described as 5 feet 11 inches, walked up to them. He had greasy hair. He approached them wearing this black executioner's hood with clip-on sunglasses over the eye holes and a bib which had the white cross symbol on it. And he was like,
normal stuff.
Yeah, he was like, I want you guys to tie each other up now. And he made them tie each other up. He discovered that one of them hadn't tied the other up that well, but then he proceeded to just stab the shit out of them, leaving them.
And somebody survived that. So
I think the dude survived it. But
he's
what
a
he
horrible
did,
murderer. Then.
oh yeah, he's crazy. So then after he left them for dead, he walked up to the car and he popped this symbol on the car. He wrote this symbol on the car, Bubba, if you have it. Which is just a crazy, it looks like a bullseye symbol kind of cross. And then he wrote Vallejo, a couple dates, a couple more dates, the time, and then he wrote by knife.
Oh, it's like this is like when you solve the puzzle in Clue, but he had all the information because he did it. Right. So yeah.
Right. And if you want to see this, I mean, the film Zodiac by David Fincher has this scene in it. It's pretty
Yeah.
messed up.
It's fucking crazy. I mean, that's
Good
just,
movie.
what a nutty thing to happen to you on a little picnic. Anyway, some of his codes.
You're
some
not
of his-
expecting that.
not expecting that on a picnic. Some of his codes have been solved. I think a couple couple of professors solved one of the first ones he sent to the San Francisco Chronicle. But this one, the Z340 cipher, which was sent December of '69, had not been solved for 51 years until a few days ago. There it is, just crazy lettering. It looks, like alien writing, basically. It's a code, and the FBI tried to do this. They thought that cracking this code was going to lead to his arrest, but they just couldn't fucking do it. And so a couple days ago, these three guys, David Ornichak from the U.S., Sam Blake, and Jarl van Eyck from Belgium, cracked his code and were able to read it, and they sent it to the FBI. Here's what it said. I hope you are having lots of fun trying to catch me. That wasn't me on the TV show. He's referring to a TV show where he demanded that F. Lee Bailey and some other lawyer and some guy claimed to call in saying he was the Zodiac.
Show from 50 years ago. This is going to be helpful for everybody.
Yeah. That wasn't me on the TV show, which brings up a point about me. I'm not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise. He misspelled paradise all the sooner because I now have enough slaves to work for me.
We better not gas him.
Yeah, where everyone else has nothing when they reach paradise, so they are afraid of death. I am not afraid because I know that my new life will be an easy one in paradise, death. So that's what
hammering that word he was misspelling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He loves paradise, but he doesn't know how to spell it. Yeah,
you think he's a big Eddie Money fan? 2 tickets to paradise.
Maybe.
Yeah. Or is he confusing it like with an actual pair of dice? It sounds like
I want a paradise. I love tearing it up on the craps table.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah. So the FBI says, unfortunately, that clue gives them absolutely no new information as to who this guy is.
Yeah. So
it's
Golden
still
State
ongoing.
Killer they busted recently. That was like the most interesting one, but they don't have a good DNA profile of the Zodiac, unfortunately.
California's got some crazy.
Did Patton Oswalt's
crazy
wife
serial
get killed by him or something?
No, she was publishing a book about him and the pressure she got on some drugs from her therapist, and she mixed some drugs and alcohol, and unfortunately.
Damn.
So in a way, yes, Mark.
Okay. Wow, yeah. So technically, he got another victim from the grave.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
but they got that.
Do they think they're going to get this guy, Wes, or is this just
no? They unless the FBI is just being like, we didn't figure out anything, huh? And they actually do have something with this, but I mean, if you read the cipher yourself, it doesn't look like any kind of
Well, how old would this guy be? Assuming he was like 30 back then.
So he was in his late 20s, I think, during like the late 60s or 70s. So I mean, do the math, Pat. Like 99.
Yeah, thanks, Wes.
I think he'd be in his 80s, or late
80s,
90s, early 120s.
19,000.
130. Yeah. So hopefully they get him, but I don't know if this is going to help. But it's it's crazy. The FBI couldn't do it for 51 years, and then these guys were able to crack it.
Oh, the ruby. Well, they were too busy finding those ruby slippers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's move it on to another really crazy story. One of the coolest stories I've seen in a while, and it's about the Blue Sky Rescue Organization. It's a humanitarian organization in China that helps out around the community, all around China. So it's like a nonprofit basically, and it's a pretty cool nonprofit because their latest project was to construct a flying flamethrower by combining a drone and a gas tank and like a giant drone spit the flame out arm. YouTube.com/HardFactorNews to see this thing in action. And yeah, so they fly the drone, they attach the gas tank, they in the arm to it, they fly the drone up to a giant wasp nest and just torch the wasp nest, and it's highly effective. I mean, this thing is just targeting wasp nests.
It's a dream job.
Yeah, it's so cool. You remote the drone up, you take out the wasp nest with the flying flamethrower, and then you just move on to the next wasp nest. It's
I would love to do this.
Yeah, it's so cool.
That device looks like the last thing you'll ever see.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Because would you just get so into it, and then
because one day down the road it's going to show up to your house and torch you.
Yeah.
Why? Because you know about it.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know who's going to get their hands on it, but I'm just saying that thing looks like a killing machine.
That thing is the indigenous people of Brazil's worst nightmare.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That thing looks like could be the last thing you ever see.
Yeah.
You don't want to give up the controls.
Think about this shit. Like that to make that thing, would be under $1,000 probably, and like
No.
require that much engineering.
Unfortunately, Pat, we have the price, and they used it in Zhong County in China, and the rig costs about $12,000 US.
But okay,
to
but
set up.
yes, I could see that with that size. But what I'm saying is to get a drone that can fly like a payload of 2 pounds is under a G probably. I'm saying like there's gonna be some middle school
You're saying
students
you
who are
could do
mad at their buddy.
DIY.
who are gonna, put this together.
Yeah, DIY.
Well, you could
yeah.
absolutely do like remember you would use like an aerosol can and spray it with a lighter kind of
Right.
thing to fuck with your friends like when you're younger. So like you could probably make that. I can see what you're saying, like that equivalent. That
There's
type
going to be
for,
some
like,
some
$200.
jilted high school lovers that are going to be setting
Yeah.
girlfriends' houses on fires. with this
Well,
stuff.
I mean, the future is
it's nigh.
It's an exciting place. There's lots of opportunity for for
I'll
situations.
show
like this.
her.
Yeah,
I already have the drone.
Bolsonaro's loving that thing.
Wait, you guys want to see another "I'll show her" story? Are you done this
Sure.
one, Will? or-
What?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. So the locals are happy. The wasps are gone. There was 19 bee sting deaths in that like area in
Jeez.
2013, which is a lot of deaths because you consider the entire U.S. is 62 deaths a year from stings.
Oof.
So
Good God. All right, so here we go. You're not going to believe this, but it turns out Shia LaBeouf is a little too intense in his romantic relationships. Wouldn't have ever suspected that.
No
He
way.
seems so chill and normal, that guy. He's not, obviously. And now his former girlfriend, FKA Twigs, is suing the actor and accusing him of sexual battery, assault, and relentless abuse, according to the lawsuit that was filed this past week in Los Angeles. FKA Twigs is a 32-year-old British singer whose real name is Talia Debret Barnett, and she dated LaBeouf for a year, 2018 to 2019. So, did you guys know who FKA Twigs was before this?
No.
Looking her up right now.
no, but
I
it
did
didn't.
not.
And then Shia was like, "Yeah, right. Like, yeah, like who am I to say what somebody interprets my behavior as? Like, basically, right? Like,
That's right. We'll get to the exact quote in just a second. Yeah,
She looks
pretty much,
intense
Will, pretty
herself.
much nailed it.
She looks a little intense herself, you know.
Yeah. Well, you got to be pretty intense to date Shia.
you're
Apparently,
dating
Shia has a
LaBeouf.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a thing for like eccentric singers. As singer Sia came swinging in from the chandelier and defending FKA Twigs and saying that she too had a bad sexual relationship with Shia, calling him a pathological liar and saying he manipulated her into an adulterous relationship, which it was confusing, but I think that he was dating someone like FKA Twigs and said he was single, so she's not
Right.
happy.
So he's
Elon might want to never hang out with Shia because it sounds like Grimes is right up this guy's alley. But anyways, LaBeouf is accused of inflicting emotional distress throughout their relationship, claiming he isolated Barnett from her friends and family and physically abused her. She also said, according to the lawsuit, that LaBeouf drove Barnett to a spa for Valentine's Day in 2019, and that Barnett awoke to LaBeouf towering over her and violently squeezing her body and arms against her will. And then he began strangling her and whispering, "If you don't stop, you're going to lose me." And then on the way home the next morning from this terrible trip, it says that LaBeouf threw her to the ground and then drove maniacally in the car, removing his seatbelt and speeding the car up and swerving it, threatening to crash the car unless she professed her eternal love for him. So, you know,
sounds about right.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's not far off the mark for what you would imagine Shia doing. And
That's just a
on
normal
a regular
day.
Saturday morning. Yeah,
You're going to the grocery store and the seatbelt comes off and you're like, here we go.
Just
I'm gonna crash this fucking thing.
I do want to call one thing into question here. They were at a spa and he was violently squeezing her body and arms. That sounds like a massage. Just saying, at a spa,
Could be.
that sounds like a terrible massage.
Good observation.
Good point. She also alleges that he banned her from wearing clothes to bed and often fought with her throughout the night to keep her awake and make her tired the next day.
He made her tired.
What do you go to sleep? I want to fight.
That's hilarious.
Shia did not
He used
respond.
that's an actual torture method.
Oh yeah,
This
he's
is sleep deprivation.
He's very manipulative and
Wow.
yeah, yep. Shia did not respond to allegations with he did. I'm sorry, he did respond to the allegations, but it was just like an email, and it's basically what Will kind of hinted at earlier. He said, "I'm not in any position to tell anyone how my behavior made them feel. I have no excuses for my alcoholism or aggression, only rationalizations. I have been abusive to myself and everyone around me for years. I have a history of hurting the people closest to me. I'm ashamed of that history, and I'm sorry to those I hurt. There is nothing else I can really say." So he's just admitting to being a piece
he
of
did
shit.
it all.
Yeah.
Everything they say. Yeah, he did
Nice.
it.
Yeah. He's like a leopard can never change its spots. Am I right?
That's
you know?
a classic apology.
Yeah.
So she's suing him?
Yeah. She's suing him.
for
Yeah,
money.
he's got sexual assault charges. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. He's got sexual assault charges, or she's suing him for sexual assault?
The latter.
And then emotional abuse, probably.
Okay.
Again, totally out of left field from Shia, who Pat seems to be trying to defend.
I'm not. I'm just suing people is look. There is the thing. Sometimes people sue people to get some justice, right? When I understand that, but it also always makes me suspect when it's like, okay.
Well, Sia, when she came out and defended her, she was like, let me just warn every woman, you want to stay safe and stay away from this guy.
Well, and not only that, and it apparently encouraged a former Cuomo staffer, Andrew Cuomo in New York, to come out, and apparently she's got some questionable details about how she left his office, like herself, but yeah, also coming out and being like, I was inspired by the Shia people. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Well, that's good. That's good. That type of stuff is great if that's happening. Yeah, courageous. Hopefully that, they get some of these assholes in trouble. Again, just totally out of left field, though, from Shia, the guy who punches people in the face during bizarre live stream art performances from elevators, and the guy who wrote, starred, and directed an entire feature film on how his dad was mean to him growing up. Maybe he can do a sequel in light of these new accusations. It can be Honey Boy 2. Bitch, you're going to give me that honey. Because that's what it sounds like.
He's probably got the film, though. He's got the B-roll ready to go. I mean,
but he's sober now, right? Okay. All right.
No, I don't think he is. Anyways, there's a 100% chance he's going to kill someone. This ends in a murder-suicide for Shia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. The state of New Jersey is playing chess while all other states are still playing checkers. But what's new? Realizing that we're no longer a country that listens to our leaders, but instead one that listens to the hottest person on social media that we follow, the state of New Jersey has teamed up with social media influencers to encourage best practices for stopping the spread of COVID-19.
Good.
Yeah, baby.
Because they'll listen to them about wearing a mask.
100, exactly, bro. Not those dumb leaders we elected. Guys, Jersey-connected content creators are putting down the dumbbells, the legal steroid supplements, and the leopard print athleisure pants, and they're picking up leopard print face masks, encouraging fellow Guidos and mall rats to hashtag mask up New Jersey. That's right. The aim, guys, is to highlight 5 key points. Wear a mask, wash your hands, social distance, return the contact tracer's phone call, and download the state's contact tracing app. I didn't know people not returning contact tracers' phone calls was a thing, but this could easily be solved if the contact tracers just claim to be their mothers. There'd be a 100% callback rate.
Well, yes. I mean, isn't it just because the New Jerseyans are like, fuck this? Like,
I don't know. I mean, I think everyone's
just like
it's your mother. I got a new number.
Yeah.
That
Mom,
woman.
Mother? Mom?
That one woman, it's like,
oh, you got me the contact tracer. I thought you were my mother. Have
you guys seen that one woman that walks around? She's like a viral, and she's like, look at all these fucking malls. They're fucking
New
closed.
Jersey, right?
Yeah. Their businesses are going fucking under.
I got news for you.
They're actually just getting
free COVID.
Well, no, they're just getting these people to combat her because she's so effective at the anti-New Jersey anti-mask stuff. She's just
apparently there's a lot of anti-maskers on TikToks, so that's partly why they're doing it. Guys, the influencers that are being used are called nano influencers, which is a nice way of saying they don't have a lot of followers, which is kind of a slap in the face. It's like being hired to be a test audience for like the undereducated market.
Well, hold on, we could probably get some nano influencer dollars.
We are nano influencers,
and you better believe it. I'm moving to New Jersey. Mom,
you really need to talk to Chris Christie about this.
Mom, is that you?
Go-to nano guy.
Mom, when did you become a contact tracer? It's fucking crazy, Mom. I love you. Guys, the organization is titled Choose New Jersey, which is the state's privately funded nonprofit dedicated to promoting New Jersey at home and abroad. And I guess in this case, they're asking New Jersey to choose whether to be responsible or fight tyranny. Yeah, that's that one. Oh, and that's Hard Factor. Well, shit, that's the end. Hey, thanks for listening to Hard Factor, guys. I swear to God, I wasn't in a grumpy mood. I was, and I got out of it. Thanks for kicking my butt, Mark. But the math was correct.
Yeah, you were right.
Guys, thank you for listening. We really appreciate you. It's going to be a great week, and we're glad to have you on board as members of the Hardo Hive. Hey, if you haven't, do us a favor, give us a follow at Hard Factor Will. That's Will's social media. It's fantastic. At Hard Factor West, that's Wes's. At Hard Factor Mark's, and at Hard Factor Pat. That's Pat's. Hail to the Washington football team, and have a great fucking day.